Welcome to Trinimaze, another weekly roundup from AmiAmi. This is going to be from the 14th of August to the 19th of August. As you can see, there's not really anything on the 14th, 15th, as the AmiAmi website went down for maintenance, from what I can remember. So they obviously didn't really release anything on those 2 days. And then we got a couple of releases on the 17th, then the 18th, which is obviously a Friday. There's obviously there's quite a few figures released, and then not really anything on the Saturday. So really it's just going to be basically 2 days, which is the 17th and the 18th. So we can get into the top here. As you can see, these are the top 10 pre-orders of the week. So you've got an Android Bubba Parade, Sods, pretty good. We're covering, I think, all of these apart from the Nindos are going to be, and the SH Figure Arts will be in, that I'll be looking at today. So you've got two Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster Figures collection. You've got the Wind Charmer, Wind the Wind Charmer, and Elsa the Earth Charmer. So these are quite good if you're into the Wind Charmers, especially if you want to collect all of them. There's the four elements. I think there's Water Charmer, and then there's Pyra, the Fire Charmer, and then there's Dark. There's Dark and Light as well. If you're familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh, you'll know the different attributes that are available. Apart from obviously the Divine, they won't have a Divine Charmer, obviously. So both of these by Kotobukiya, and they're 16,630 yen. They look pretty good overall. Definitely look like the artwork. I would probably say Elsa's better overall. I think I prefer the expression on her compared to Win, and obviously the staff with it showing the gem stone there, showing you that she's the Earth attribute, which makes sense. She's the Earth Charmer. The Wind Charmer looks quite good overall as well. I think they're both perfectly fine figures if you're into your Yu-Gi-Oh card game monsters. Then we get into a Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Isekai, so Roxy Megurdia 1/8 by Kotobukiya. It's a quite nice looking figure. I do like the shading going on here in the creases. It's very well done. So, and I think we're going to have Kotobukiya's seal of approval really with this. Their stamp of quality. This shading looks really good. Really, some of the best shading I've seen in the cloak. So definitely good looking figure, especially if you're into getting Roxy. So 15,000 yen, good price I think overall. She's not obviously too expensive. She's a 1/8, so she will be small. She only stands at 24.5 centimeters tall. It's not too bad actually for 1/8. So definitely good looking figure as well. The blue hair looks really rich and dark, a lot compared to some other figures that I've covered in the past, where the blues maybe not as dark as rich. I definitely like the hair, the shade, the way they've done the blue on the hair is definitely very well done. I think it's probably the most accurate telling of a figure in 3D form from the anime. Beastyle, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Mitsuri Kanroji. So you got two versions. This is by Freeing. So there's one with effect parts and one without the effect parts. So 44,000 yen for without effect parts, 55,000 yen with effect parts. I think most people would probably want with effect parts, but the price is a bit of a hard pill to swallow. So I could definitely understand why people possibly wouldn't pay the money for this figure. It might be worth waiting, as we've seen with a lot of Freeing figures recently. When they have been released, they've still been available, especially on AmiAmi. I've not checked out other websites to see if they get into stock when they do get released. So in which case, then if they some of them have been up there for a few months actually, Freeing figures, and they sometimes go on sale. Some of them don't, some of them do. So you just have to wait and see. Obviously, you can only hold up for so long until they're eventually all gone. But it's worth keeping an eye on the Freeing figures and maybe just holding off until after it's actually released. Both of those. Macross Frontier Rank Lee Anniversary Stage version, 1/7. I'm not familiar with this figure. Looks quite good overall. I do like the sort of neon sound effects. I think was a figure covered a few while ago which has a similar aesthetic, I think, with the neon sign and and the figure on top of the sign. So it looks very good. Obviously, lots of colours going on. There's a lot going on. It's by Good Smile. 29,880 yen. If you like the figure, then definitely get it. I think because of the base note, she's going to be quite large as well, with all the effects going on, with this sort of feathers and her hair on the dress going on. So it's going to be a very intricate figure, I think, overall. She stands at 31.5 centimeters tall, so quite tall for a figure. Obviously, that's because she's standing on this neon sign thing. Possibly worth getting if you're familiar with the figure or the series. Arknights Angelia Summertime version 1/10 by Mythos, 4,980 yen, and a Arknights Shining Summertime version 1/10 by Mythos, 4,980 yen as well. I think that we've had full proper scales. I think 1/7 of these released already. I can't quite remember. By Mythos, so these are just sort of cheaper options. People who just want to start out, and Mythos is a pretty good manufacturer overall. They've done some good quality stuff, and I think the 1/10s are obviously where they can try to compete with Pop-Up Trade in terms of doing something that's sort of more mass, that they can get out, that's cheap to cost and manufacture. It's 18.5 centimeters tall, so I think that's probably about the same size as the majority of Pop-Up Parades. So yeah, it seems to be just a Pop-Up Parade contender, I think, overall, but with better detailing, I suppose. But obviously they won't have the pull that Good Smile would do with the licensing, so that's not too bad. Jujutsu Kaisen Panda 1/7 by Shibuya Scramble. This is a very good looking figure. 29,700 yen. Probably a lot of people would pay that. I'm not big into. I did enjoy Panda. I do like the character from Jujutsu Kaisen, but it's not a figure. It's not a character that I would probably want a figure of. It's just something I enjoy in the anime. So, but if you do really want a figure of it, this is probably the best figure you're gonna get. Since he obviously is not like a main character. You know, Jujutsu Kaisen is pretty big, or a pretty big anime series. You probably won't see many other figures of Panda, and this is probably going to be one of the best ones, especially when he's in sort of his battle form. So with the effect parts, this looks really good, and it'll have the Shibuya Scramble detailing and effort put into the figure. So that's really good. Yuru Camp Ren Shima Shibireku Camp version 1/7. Hobby stock, 19,010 yen. I don't know anything about Yuru Camp. Fortunately, I've not watched any of it, so I'm not familiar with the figure, or the anime series, or the character. So I can't really offer much comment apart from the quality of it, and it looks like a very good quality figure. 90,000 yen is probably about right for a 1/7 scale of this quality. Everything looks fine on it. Well, the detailing looks great. It looks like they've done actually some good effect on the this, like the wool effect. You can tell it's quite rough rather than just being flat. So I think it's textured into the mold to give that effect. Makes it easier for painting as well. And obviously her hair and face looks great in terms of just figure, but I can't say how accurate it is to the character. Some pop-up parades of Hunter x Hunter figures, so Lirioi and Kurapika. So it's good to see a resurgence in Hunter x Hunter figures. Obviously, pop-up parade for Good Smile is, you know, an easy thing. It's not as if they're putting all their eggs in one basket. It's not going to cost them loads to manufacture this overall, so it's a safe bet for them to test the waters, I suppose, with these characters, and then possibly do full scales of these at some point in the future. So again, I think that's something that Good Smile generally does with Pop Parade, is that's why you can get a wide variety of figures, licensed figures that are in the Pop Parade range. So and they're both, so January 2024 looks like they're very far. Yep. So I think they're fine. They're Pop Parade quality, so that's just to be expected. Pop-Up Parade Berserk Zod L size Max Factory. This is something I might want to pick up, really, because I do like Zod, and you're not really going to see that much in terms of official Berserk figures. Like, we've obviously got the Berserk of Guts in his Berserker armor L series, which I've got. So it might be worth picking this up actually. March 2024, my birthday month. So it might be worth possibly getting as well. Just figuring out whether I want to pre-order it or not. Basically, it's still up for pre-order, so possibly worth getting. And I can put him next to Berserk in his Guts in his Berserk armor. So overall looks fine. Their L series generally do seem to be more detailed than the standard Pop Parade series figures. That's seen in a lot of pictures and comparisons between the Guts in his Berserk armor, between the normal Pop Parade and the L series. So you definitely get better quality. You're paying more for it. It's more plastic, but I think the L series is a good thing that Pop-Up Parade are doing. To give something that's a bit more of an actual pop-up, like 1/7 scale equivalent. This is probably my favourite figure. Wife Eros illustrated by Sora Nani Iru, 1 by 1/5 scale, 5.5 scale, by lovely 31,300 yen. Obviously this is a very appealing figure for certain people, with elf complexes, I suppose you could say. It would definitely be one I would want to get. She comes out in May 2024, which I think I've got almost nothing for, so I'm very tempted to add her to pre-order my pre-order as well. I do have a thing for elf figures and freeing, so I'm kind of sucker for Vertex as well, the elf village line, which I've got 2 of them, and I do want to complete the lineup and get the entire elf village, but that will come in time in the future. But 31,000 yen, 31,300 for 1/5 scale. So she's going to be a large figure, which is good because then you get the extra. You can I guess you better appreciate the details, I suppose, with them being on a large scale. So this is a very nice looking figure, and this is one I definitely would want to have in my personal collection. So I'll probably pre-order and then just see if it's worth keeping on pre-order, depending on what else gets released. That will do it for this week. It's not a lot, unfortunately, with them doing maintenance and also having 2 days of nothing. And then Thursday was pretty dry, and then the Friday was very well, obviously a lot of dents, and then there's nothing on the Saturday. So that's it. I shall catch you in the next video. Please just let me know if there's anything else, if you want me to do other websites or figures or the official ones, or start doing resin figures. I'll look at resin figures. I've got one on order, but I've not had the invoice to pay for that yet, so I will just have to wait for that one. Thank you very much, and I shall see you in the next video. Cheerio, bye.